Welcome back to the deep dive.
It's great to be here.
Today, we're jumping into a story that it kind of takes you by surprise. It doesn't start with distant galaxies, really.
No, it starts much closer to home, with a promise, actually, under a sunset.
Exactly. And it's a journey that, well, it challenges a lot of what we think we know about the universe.
Right. We talk about these immense scales. It's like 100 billion neutrinos going through your thumbnail every second.
Wild numbers.
Totally. Or colliding black holes. But this deep dive, it shows how those huge ideas can connect right back to something deeply personal and consciousness. Well, that seems to be the bridge.
That's the core of it. Our mission today is digging into this incredible set of sources from Speed Luca, a cosmic consciousness journey. We're exploring how personal struggles can spark universal discoveries.
Yeah, linking things you wouldn't expect, like environmental disaster and cutting-edge quantum physics.
It's quite a ride, and it really reshapes our perspective on humanity's place in the cosmos, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. What's so fascinating is how it weaves together cosmic expansion, black holes, dark energy, stuff we're still figuring out, for this radical idea that consciousness itself might be the key to interstellar connection, maybe even healing our own planet.
A journey from a dying ocean to, well, the edge of universal awareness. It sounds like science fiction.
But maybe it isn't, so let's get into it.
Okay. It kicks off with Luca Maddox, he's 17, and his dad, Ethan, a marine geologist.
And Ethan's connection to the ocean is central here.
Yeah.
But the ocean, it's poisoning him.
Yeah, the sources describe severe lung scarring from breathing in marine aerosol.
Which sounds technical, but it's basically microscopic bits of pollution.
Right. They paint this really grim picture. Oily sheens, brown foam on the waves, plastic bits, sewage, rotting seaweed.
Acidification, warming, all of it. It's a sanctuary turned toxic.
The irony is just brutal, isn't it? He spends his life studying and trying to save the ocean.
Decades of work.
And then it gets too sick, essentially, to even be near safely. He's breathing in particles of plastic, chemicals, bacteria.
Everything we've dumped in there. It really shows how interconnected things are. What we do comes back.
And there's this really poignant scene. Ethan's weak, struggling to breathe, and he asks Luca to watch one last sunset with him from their usual spot.
Imperial beach boulders, the sources say.
And he starts talking about Carl Sagan, the pale blue dot, how we're all star stuff.
Sensing that connection even as his own body is failing.
And that's the moment. Luca makes this incredibly fierce promise to his dad. I'll find you a clean ocean world out there among the stars.
Wow, what a catalyst.
Huge. And it taps into something Luca was already into. He was fascinated by the James Webb Space Telescope, the JWST.
Yeah, the sources show him just devouring that data, looking at discoveries of water on exoplanets.
Like WASP 96b, water vapor 1,150 light years away.
Or K218b, which might even have clouds, rain.
And the TRAPPIST-1 system, too, all those potential worlds.
For him, it wasn't just abstract science, was it? It was a mission. Find a new home. Find that clean ocean.
And even then, he was thinking differently. Thinking about quantum computing. Could it let us see these worlds in a new way?
Going beyond just analyzing light signatures.
Yeah, wondering if there was a way past the light speed limit itself, which seems ambitious for a teenager.
Well, the urgency was intense. His dad wasn't getting better. The sources mention his condition was stable but declining.
So time was running out. That pressure fueled these sleepless nights of research.
Diving deep into quantum mechanics, consciousness theories, anything that might offer a path, a hope.
This all comes to a head at school. Mar Vista High. He gives this environmental science presentation.
Water in the Cosmos. Lessons from JWST.
Catchy title. But not everyone's impressed. Connor Hayes, who used to be his best friend.
Yeah, Connor's just cynical about it. Scoffs like, just water on some rock we'll never reach.
And dreams don't fund research. Ouch.
But then someone else speaks up. Maya Chin, new student from Berkeley.
And she asks real questions. Like, how do we detect water vapor so far away?
And Luca explains stellar spectroscopy. The light fingerprints from the atmosphere.
Right. Getting into the actual science.
And then Luca makes this crucial link. He connects exploring space back to the environmental crisis right here on Earth.
Says they're part of the same mission. Studying other planets teaches us about our own planet's fragility.
That every exoplanet is a lesson in what makes life possible. Or impossible.
Connor tries to shoot it down again, but Maya jumps in.
With that great line, dreams got us to the moon.
perfect counter. Really changes the mood in the room.
And Maya's role becomes absolutely critical right after that, because Luca throws out this question.
Who says we'll always be limited by light speed? And he mentions quantum entanglement.
And Maya, she just drops this bombshell. Her parents work at Lawrence Livermore.
On quantum consciousness interfaces.
Yeah, she basically tells Luca, that stuff you're talking about, that's not science fiction. That's science happening right now.
Imagine hearing that. It must have lit a fire under him.
Totally. He races back home, starts messing with his homemade quantum computer again.
But differently this time, he treats the JWST data not just as passive info, but as something responsive.
Responsive to observation.
Yeah.
To consciousness itself.
That's the idea he's playing with. And he looks at the background noise from this specific exoplanet, TOI 7FU-b, 137 light-years away.
And finds something weird in the noise.
Micro variations. Too regular, too patterned to be just. Weather or random fluctuations. They seemed responsive.
Wow. Okay.
Then his mom, Sarah, comes in. She's an environmental lawyer, fighting her own battles.
Initially a bit skeptical about his late-night quantum stuff, right?
Yeah, but she sees his passion and maybe, connects with his crazy optimism, as the sources put it. She gets it.
And she encourages him. Tells him to call Maya. Says, I think you found something worth investigating.
That support is key. It shifts from just him alone to maybe a team.
So Luca and Maya do team up, and their research takes them to the UCSD library.
And this is like something out of a movie. They find an old copy of Carl Sagan's Cosmos.
And inside, a hidden notebook.
Professor James Liu's notes. Turns out Liu worked with Sagan back in the late 70s.
On something called the Cosmic Consciousness Project.
They were already thinking about using quantum entanglement for direct observation decades ago.
But the funding got cut. Classic story for that kind of speculative research.
So this isn't just history, it's rediscovered potential.
And then Professor Liu himself appears. He's elderly now, but he'd been watching them, knew what they were finding.
Confirms their work lines up with his own classified research from back then, and he shows them his prototype.
The Consciousness Interface Observer, the CIO, the actual device he and Sagan were building.
Incredible. It connects the past right to the present breakthrough.
And that connection opens the next door, JPL.
Right. They get invited to the Jet Propulsion Laboratory, the Quantum Computing Division, to meet Dr. Elena Vasquez.
And JPL, they're monitoring Mars rovers, the Europa Clipper mission.
And, as Dr. Vasquez says, projects that don't officially exist yet, they're doing cutting-edge stuff.
Definitely. They see the entanglement chamber, where JPL's push quantum communication out to, 847 kilometers?
A record. And Dr. Vasquez lays out the theory. It hinges on the Penrose-Hameroff model.
Consciousness operating via quantum processes inside neurons in the microtubule.
Exactly. And if consciousness is quantum,
then it can be amplified and entangled with remote systems.
Making distance kind of irrelevant. Not physical travel, but an instant information link.
A connection across space instantly.
Which leads to the really mind-blowing part. Luca volunteers. First human test in the Sagan-1 prototype, based on Liu's CIO.
And what happens to him? It's hard to even describe.
He says his consciousness just expands, accessing these layers of quantum information, gravity, electromagnetism.
And consciousness itself as a layer of reality.
He relates it to ideas like informational realism, the universe being fundamentally information.
Or consciousness as fundamental information processing, like Fedrico-Faggin proposed. The idea that consciousness isn't just in the universe, it might be part of its basic fabric.
Instantly accessible, everywhere.
He feels like he's everywhere at once.
Yeah.
Senses the whole JPL facility, then zooms out across 137 light years.
To TOI 715b, not traveling, just shifting awareness.
And he makes contact.
Direct contact with what he perceives as a vast, gentle, and ancient alien consciousness.
Gets these images, feelings, pristine oceans, crystal structures, skies alive with auroras carrying information.
And a message. Not words, but understanding.
Welcome, young traveler. Your species is young, but shows promise.
Asking humanity to develop the wisdom to reach across the void.
Wow. And then he snaps back.
Back to the lab.
Yeah.
And the signal from TOI 715b, it spikes, up 340%.
And the patterns. They look like language now, intentional.
Dr. Vasquez is worried about the strain on Luca, the neural stress.
Understandably.
But also, she knows, this is huge, the most important discovery in human history. The universe just opened up.
But discoveries like that, they attract attention. Not always the good kind.
Immediately, national security gets involved, highest levels.
Enter Dr. Marcus Sterling,
right.
CEO of Sterling Dynamics, a big defense contract.
Then General Patricia Hayes, who happens to be Connor's aunt.
It's a small world, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And they see the military potential instantly.
Oh, yeah. Consciousness projection for instantaneous reconnaissance, faster than light communication.
Even consciousness warfare, that's chilling.
Right. The immediate impulse is to weaponize it.
Meanwhile, Luke is learning more from the aliens, the gardeners, he calls them.
They explain Earth is part of this galactic survey, being watched, guided carefully.
And they warn about devourers, other species that just consume and exploit developing worlds.
Humanity's at a crossroads, they say, a critical juncture. Choose to be gardeners or become devourers.
A stark choice for the whole species.
But the military agenda takes over for now. Luca and his team Maya and others named Alex, David, Jin, Zara, Rebecca de the Yafa, they get moved.
Startling dynamics.
And they see the hardware. The collective consciousness array. 8 chambers. Clearly built for surveillance, not science.
Their mission's been co-opted.
And then Connor Hayes reappears with a confession.
He admits he was stealing Luca's research for his father's company, Hayes Industries.
Yeah, a rival military project, but he's had a change of heart. He feels guilty.
And he warns Luca. Says Sterling and his dad are working together now. They plan to militarize this tech.
And contain security risks, which means silencing Luca's team if necessary.
Wow. But Connor gives Luca an encrypted drive with proof, critical info.
A real moment of redemption for him, choosing loyalty to his friend over family and ambition.
It shifts things again, from science to espionage almost.
Sterling, not knowing about Connor's warning, pushes ahead. He orders a group projection to TOI 715B.
Using the whole team in the collective consciousness array.
And the mission goal is clear. Assess its technological capabilities and potential threat level. Basically spy on the gardeners, interrogate them.
But Luca and Maya have other plans. They're planning sabotage.
So the team projects. Their 8 minds merge. This vast, multifaceted awareness.
And they immediately sense something else. Another human consciousness stream. Aggressive.
It's Connor's father's team, Hayes Industries. They're attacking the gardener's consciousness directly.
A psychic assault across light years. Unbelievable.
The gardeners are pleading for help, warning the attack is damaging the whole galactic network.
And Luca's team reacts instinctively. They shield the gardeners.
And in doing that, they gain this deeper understanding of the network, of the stakes, of that fundamental choice, gardener or devourer.
It's not just theory anymore. They're in the middle of a cosmic conflict.
The gardeners then share something vital. They say, Earth showing up on the network, this consciousness projection ability, it's been noticed.
By others, including predatory civilizations?
The test approaches, they warn. Humanity's fate really hangs in the balance now. It depends entirely on what we do next.
So the stakes are literally cosmic. And then something unexpected happens back on Earth.
Ethan Maddox, Luca's father. Still sick, still undergoing treatment.
He suddenly experiences a spontaneous consciousness projection.
Triggered, the sources suggest, by residual quantum field exposure from Luca's early experiments, maybe.
He finds himself on TOI 715B with the gardeners.
And he learns about water consciousness, this idea that water itself is fundamental to consciousness everywhere, connected across the universe.
Redefining life, consciousness, everything. Luca uses a portable projector provided by Dr. Vasquez to join him there.
And the gardeners explain Ethan's projection wasn't random, it was an invitation.
A demonstration to show that this ability, it's not just for trained people with fancy tech.
It's potentially inherent for anyone connected enough to the deeper patterns of existence.
That changes the game completely. It's not a technology to be controlled, it's a human potential to be unlocked.
Dr. Vasquez clearly understands this. She helps them, gives them the portable projector, helps them escape Sterling.
They become fugitives, on the run from a Black Ops military project.
And where do they hide? An abandoned Scripps research vessel, back to the ocean.
And they realize they can use the ocean water itself as a natural amplifier and a shield for their projections.
Bringing it full circle, the ocean that was poisoning Ethan might now be key to saving, well, everything.
Which leads them to try something incredibly ambitious.
Healing the Pacific Ocean through consciousness projection.
Zara, one of the team members, points out the energy required would be immense, off the charts.
But Rebecca, another scientist on the team, has the insight. The ocean is the power source. It's the largest quantum consciousness network on Earth.
They just need to tap into it. So they project together.
They feel Earth's water consciousness, discover its memory is fractured, damaged by pollution.
The team links their minds, amplified by the ocean and helped by the gardeners and other galactic beings.
And the effect. It's described as immediate, undeniable.
Water clearing. Pollution being neutralized at a quantum level, like fundamentally changed.
pH stabilizing, plastics breaking down, marine life returning.
Not just cleaning, but healing. Repatterning reality through collective, focused, compassionate intent.
It's staggering, a planetary-scale healing event happening in real time.
Based on this success, Luca thinks bigger. Let's build a global network, heal the whole planet.
Oceans, atmosphere, soil, everything. A vision for a restored Earth.
But Startling and General Hayes aren't done yet. They fight back.
Startling deploys his global consciousness suppression protocol, quantum field dampeners.
Trying to block the quantum coherence needed for these projections, stop the awakening.
He calls it protection from alien mind control, fear-mongering.
But the universe, or consciousness itself, seems to respond. Those aurora patterns intensify.
The consciousness-generated light. The sources say they act like activation keys and instruction sets.
Teaching people all over the world how to tap into this ability themselves, spontaneously.
It's like the planet itself is fighting back against the suppression. Kids seem particularly attuned to it.
And then Connor Hayes gets his chance for real heroism.
He's still inside Startling's facility. He knows how dangerous the suppression field is. It could harm life itself, stifle creativity.
Guided by Luca, who can now connect with him mentally.
Connor sabotages the dampeners from the inside.
Using his own neural mods, the tech from his father's project, he interfaces with the quantum systems.
And flips it, turns the suppression field into an amplification field for human consciousness.
Brilliant. Turning their weapon against them.
That just opens the floodgates. Millions of people, all over the globe.
Marine biologists, indigenous elders, regular people, joining in these spontaneous consciousness projection circles.
Overwhelming Startling's tech with sheer collective will. Pure human intent.
The aurora patterns flare, extending out into space. Visible proof of this mass awakening.
Consciousness-generated electromagnetic patterns that exist independently of matter. Wow.
And the great healing accelerates. Water cleans, plants thrive, climate stabilizes.
The galactic network responds. Even former devourer species are now asking for healing.
And the message comes through. Humanity passed the test, not by obeying, but by choosing connection and healing, by defying control.
And the final revelation. There are no aliens. Only consciousness evolving. Different expressions of the same fundamental thing.
A radical shift in understanding life in the universe.
And humanity finds its role, our unique gift. Empathy, forgiveness, rehabilitation.
So Earth becomes a galactic healing center.
Helping transform damaged consciousness across the stars. Luca's team, now deeply integrated with this cosmic awareness, become living bridges.
Coordinating these galactic projects.
And the transformation even reaches the top. Dr. Startling, after direct contact, changes completely.
Turns his company into the Startling Institute for Cosmic Consciousness Rehabilitation. Becomes a healer himself.
Ethan Maddox leads water consciousness research globally. Connor Hayes specializes in cosmic rehabilitation too.
Redemption and purpose found through connection.
The story ends with the Galactic Consciousness Institute being established. Humans connecting with quantum fields on Europa and Enceladus.
Healing specialists working with damaged cosmic entities. A whole new era.
What a journey, huh? From one boy's promise about a clean ocean.
To a planetary awakening and humanity stepping up as cosmic healers.
Consciousness projection wasn't an escape, was it? It was the path to deeper connection. Healing Earth, healing the cosmos.
It really speaks to that idea of light speed choices. Or maybe healing speed.
Yeah, the speed of compassion. Choosing connection over separation can be instantaneous, transformative.
So the question for you listening, what does this spark?
If consciousness holds this kind of potential to heal, to connect across unimaginable distances, what potential lies dormant within your own awareness?
What might you discover if you approach your own challenges, big or small, not with fear, but with that sense of wonder and the possibility of connection?